Great. Okay. Where's the... Do we need the earpiece?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
All good. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you have a question, please can you raise your hands? We've got 50 minutes with Eddie Howe, and then we'll be joined by Jacob Murphy. Who wants to start us off? Keith, please.
Hi Eddie, you've got an energised group, it looks like, since the last time we played here. So a couple of really good wins on the road, and then the performance against Man City on Saturday was a good one. Do you feel the players are coming into a good moment at a crucial time in the season?
Yeah, I feel that way. I think the feeling, as I said, the atmosphere around the squad's been really strong the last few weeks. It's been a really good response to a difficult period for us. Again, in training today, really good attitudes, good energy, all things considered, and ready for tomorrow's game.
You're obviously 6-1 up from the first leg. Is that an opportunity for you to maybe rest some of the players who've been playing a lot of football, and is there the potential for maybe one or two of your younger players coming in tomorrow?
Yeah, possibly. I think we'll look at the squad and try and pick a strong team. We want to win the game. So that's the first target, is to win. And in some senses, we want to keep a good rhythm with the players. I think it's a really delicate balance we've got between rotating the squad and making sure everyone's fresh to winning the game, and also making sure players don't lose rhythm and we don't lose the good feeling that we've had. So I'll try and pick the right team, taking all the information into consideration that we have.
Thank you. George Colkin.
Hi Eddie. Slightly left field question. Did you have a leadership group at Bournemouth when you were manager there? And what is it that you're looking for from your leaders?
Did we have a leadership group? It's a good question. Time travels quickly. I'm not sure we did. Certainly not to the level that we have now. We had some very good leaders in the team that I had there, but I'm not sure we had it officially sort of as we do now. What do I look for? I look for consistency. I look for strength of leadership, especially in difficult moments. I look for, obviously, a vocal delivery, especially on the pitch and on the training pitch, and really high standards of behaviour. I think all those things are really, really crucial. And I think the guys in the leadership group have to sort of live that every day. That has to become them.
Okay, we'll go to Nisha, to Damien, and then Lee, please. Nisha.
Hi Eddie. In the season where Premier League form has been a bit inconsistent, how much joy has this Champions League journey brought you and the team? How important has it been?
Yeah, it's been really important. I think it's been... I think there's been some great performances in the Champions League. I think we've sort of saved our best for that competition. I know a lot was made of, quite rightly, the result against Karabag in the first leg, but for me it wasn't sort of the result as such. It was the performance and the manner and the hunger that we showed in that game all through to deliver a really, really good performance. And that's the sort of the highest level I think we've played at this season, and that's the sort of level I want us to try and attain as close as we can to as often as possible. And I thought we followed that up with a really similar performance against Manchester City, albeit a different result. I thought the level was there. I mean, I think we've shown that we can compete. I showed that physically we were really, really good. And so if that's sort of that performance to try and spark us into life, then great. And that's what we've got to try and aspire to tomorrow. I think we've got to try and hit our very, very best levels, because it's the consistency that we, as I said, we've been searching for all season.
Thank you. Damien?
Eddie, you've achieved some significant firsts during your time at the club. What would it mean in terms of the journey to reach the last 16 of this competition?
Yeah, it's something that we spoke about before the competition started. That was our sort of initial target. We wanted to try and reach this stage, as in the last 16. And I think then when you're at that point of the competition, I think anything can happen. And we back ourselves sort of in cup ties, one-off games. I think that seems to have brought out the best of the squad this year, and that's in the Carabao Cup as well, so, and the FA Cup as well. So we seem to be able to rise or raise our game when we need it, and certainly this competition is going to bring out that side of it the further we go into it. But I think just breaking it down purely, as much as that's the target, we've still got to try and win tomorrow's game, and that's all we're focusing on at the moment.
Lee Ryder?
How do you encourage your players to dream big in this competition? Because there's a route there to real glory, isn't there?
Yeah, encourage them to dream and to think, what if, to have positive thoughts. All of those things I think are really healthy for the group. Ultimately, you have to break it down when you're in my seat, and breaking it down to just trying to win every game, to try and focus on the detail of the performance. We trained well this morning in terms of trying to set up what we think we need to do tomorrow. So it's sort of small steps. But in the back of your head, I think it's great to have those thoughts, because that's going to only inspire you to give your best.
Thank you. Lady on the front row?
Which Carabao player impressed you most in the last game?
Well, as I said many times, I was really impressed with Karabakh, having watched them a lot in the build-up to the game. I really like the centre-forward Duran. I thought he has been a real threat for them, running in behind with his pace. He's got a real eye for goal. Jankovic in midfield, I think, is a really good footballer. So I think they've got some really good players. I think the first game was about us being at our best. I think we made it difficult for them, but we haven't underestimated them in the build-up to this game, and we've prepared really strongly because we know they're a very good team.
Thank you. Daniel?
Eddie, the last couple of weeks have probably brought out your best performances in a row of the season. What's pleased you the most in terms of performances in these games?
I think if there was one part of our game that I thought was really good, it would be our energy, which has been fluctuated, if we're being honest, throughout the season. But our energy in the last group of games has been really good. I think that started from the right at the top of the pitch with Anthony Gordon, and then filtered back through the rest of the team. And I think when we show that energy and that sort of zip in our game, I think we can compete with anybody. We can make it very uncomfortable for our opponents with our physicality, and then we've got real technical skills when we're at our best to execute what we want on the ball. So I think the physicality, when you consider all the games we've had, has been of a really high level.
And of course, this season, as we know, has had its ups and downs, but when it comes to you as a coach and as a manager, are you actually enjoying the challenge that it provides despite the inconsistencies at times?
I'm not enjoying the inconsistencies. I'm not enjoying the sort of the low points. We all, as a group, demand a lot of ourselves. That's me and the players, the staff. So we're very self-critical. We're very analytical on what we've delivered. We know we can do better. The challenge is to hit those high levels as often as we can, and we won't be happy if we don't. So I think me and the players share that wish.
Thank you. We'll go to Craig, Martin, and then to Jordan, please.
Hi Eddie, we've got a new midfield debate to enjoy.
Oh no.
Pleased to know. Nick Mottamana, he's Germany's number 9 and we're 3-4 months out from a World Cup. Have you had a conversation with him about that contrast to where he's obviously probably aiming to play for his country, where he's established himself, into where he is playing now for yourselves?
I've had many conversations with Nick on like sort of a broad range of subjects, really. I think even when he's playing as a number 9, as we used him, it wasn't to stretch the line, it was to come lower on the pitch. So I think in terms of his Germany career, without speaking for Nick, I think him playing well in any position for us is only going to help supplement that. Nick is very, very happy playing the role that he has done the last few games. There's no sort of fight with him on that. He's very much all in because he wants to showcase his best skills, and his best skills is technically helping us link play. But I think what we've seen, which maybe has surprised me even to a point, has been his tactical understanding and his ability to understand the press, understand what he needs to do defensively. He's been excellent. He does have a sort of freedom on the ball to take up central positions. He has the freedom to drift to a degree across the pitch, so he's not sort of stranglehold by the position into one place. So I think hopefully we'll see the very best of him. But his position isn't fixed. We can change however we see fit, depending on the game.
Thank you. Martin?
I think I'm a 10 here to Craig's number 9 on the midfield discussion, unfortunately. Are we talking about a Joe Linton kind of transformation here for me?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say so. I can understand why you would asked the question up, but I'd say Nick was always, in our thoughts, very much a deep-lying player, a deep-lying number 9. All his best work came from starting higher and coming lower. Now, just starting lower and staying sort of in the middle line, I don't think it's a great change. Of course, there's different things you need to bring in that position, of course, but I think he's played really, really well there the last few games. I've been very impressed with him. None more so in the Carabao game. In the first leg, I thought he was outstanding that day. Who knows what the future holds for him, but I just think he's a very, very good attacker for us, and we'll use him in a variety of positions.
To get him fit enough to play in a deeper role in England, how much work physically have you had to do?
Not too much, to be honest. We haven't really had a great deal of training time with him. I think he came to us in a position where he was probably 75% fit, as in Newcastle fit, and I think we've been able to get him up to a really good place. But he's got really good endurance, Nick. It's not that he at any time really struggled with long runs. He's not really necessarily a sprinter. His endurance levels have always been pretty good, and that's what you need in that position. So, some senses again, that suits him.
Thank you, Jordan.
Sven Bottom and Johan Wissel picture in training this afternoon. Will they be involved tomorrow night?
Yeah, we hope so. Wait and see how they both wake up tomorrow, but fingers crossed they'll both be involved.
This might just be my eyes, but there was no sign of Anthony Gordon and Samuel Tonali. How are they, and will they be involved as well?
Yeah, there was a few players that we just kept inside today. No real issues. 4 or 5 players, I think, that we just wanted to look after.
Thank you. Over to Louise, Gary, and I'll finish with Dom.
Hi Eddie. Do you feel that perhaps next season, if you evolved the style slightly and became maybe better on the ball, could Nick Voltermalder be central to that because of his technical ability and his skills and his flexibility?
Yeah, possibly. As I said, the future's an exciting one, regardless of what position we play for him, because I think the hardest season any new player has, in my opinion, coming to a new country is the first one, because everything's new, everything's different. He had a great start for us, which really helped him, but there was always going to be a period where he found it difficult in this league because teams very, very quickly come up with different plans, and everything is then aimed to stop you. So I think he's adapting his game really well. I'm really happy with him. But our style in general, I think, will always change depending on the individuals. But of course, we've got to be successful and we've got to win games, whatever style we pick. So I'm pleased with how the team's looked in the last few weeks.
And how important is it that he's got the sort of mental bravery to dare to be different, as in a different context, his GQ fashion shoot, rather highlighted?
I haven't seen that, no.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Was it good? I know his fashion sense is different. Certainly I couldn't pull some of the things off that he wears, and I wouldn't even dare to. But I think he looks good. No matter what he wears, he's got a way of showcasing his dress sense off, and it almost matches his personality. He is slightly different. He's got no problem being different, and on the football pitch he's got such unique strengths. I've really enjoyed watching him play the last few games.
Thanks, Louise. Gary?
Hi, Eddie. Just on Nick again, if he continues to flourish in this new role, are you expecting to have a conversation with Julian Nagelsmann at any point? Obviously, Nick's made himself Germany's first choice number 9 over the last couple of international breaks. Would that be something you'd be expecting if he continues in this role?
Not necessarily, because I think the role isn't, as I said, it's not dissimilar to how Germany have used him anyway. If they've played him as a 9, they've asked him to come into lower positions. So I don't think it's a big change, and I'm sure their manager will look at it and go, if he's doing well for Newcastle and he's playing minutes, then that's only going to help his cause. They know what he can do, obviously coming through the youth system there. So I think they'll have no doubts about his strengths and what he can offer the national team. I just hope that he continues to flourish in whatever position we play in.
Thank you. Dom?
Hi Eddie, just on another German, no Malik Chow tomorrow night. He's started every game since his full debut. How do you deal with losing such a consistent starter in your side, but also a player who's played such a key role?
Yeah, it's going to be a blow for us. I said that when his suspension was confirmed. A big loss for us at the heart of our defence. I think Malik has been hugely impressive this season. Model of consistency. I actually think the last few games again has been some of his strongest of the season. I think he's, considering the amount of games he's played, he's looked really, really good in that sense. I think on the ball he's come back to being at his very best level. I think defensively he's been superb. So I think it's been an incredible signing for us. He's a great lad as well, settled in really quickly to the group. So yeah, he'll be a miss, but fingers crossed it's just for one game.
Okay, thank you everyone. Jacob Murphy will be with you in just a moment.
Thanks
See you
very much.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Did he not assist Nick Bolton on his first goal? Yeah. And Bolton not said, he said Murphy told him just be in that place, I'll put it in here. And hasn't done it.
He hasn't been since. I need to remind him.
Alright, Jacob's just coming on.
Maybe in 5 minutes.
Seconds.
Good afternoon, guys.
Put the microphones on, keep put them behind the UEFA thing, please, guys.
Hello. Okay, good to see you guys.
Keith, do you want to start us off?
Jacob, nice to see you. I was having to go through the calendar there to work out when it was. I think it was nearly 9 years ago that you signed and walked through the door over in, was it over in Ireland?
In Ireland, yeah.
Pre-season. 9 years ago, obviously, difficult kind of start. You ended up out of loan a couple of times at the Championship. Made your Champions League debut, won a trophy. What did it feel like last week scoring your first Champions League goal, and are there more to come?
Felt amazing. Also a relief as well. You know, going back a few years, playing the Champions League was something that I wanted to achieve. I managed to make my debut in the San Siro, and then after that it's like, right, when can I get my first goal, when can I get my first assist? And yeah, I've done well to get some assists, but that first goal was eluding me and bearing to be a bit tricky to get. But yeah, with a little bit of help, finally got it.
How do you feel about this game tomorrow night? Because the schedule has been relentless, some really high-level games where nothing can really give. You play a team tomorrow where you're 6-1 up from the first leg. A lot of people maybe look at it and think, well, you can maybe sort of take the foot off the gas a little bit. How do you guys feel when you've got Everton at home at the weekend, Man United on the back of that, and then so many games coming thick and fast? How do you view this game tomorrow?
Well, firstly, it's nice just to be back at home. We've had 4 really tough away games in a row, and yeah, just to be back in our living room, so to say, that's actually something that we're all looking forward to. So yes, it's just nice to be back in front of our fans and playing in our stadium again. So we're really looking forward to tomorrow. So yeah, we know it's going to be a tricky game. Still a lot of work to do, yeah, we're just happy to be back with home comforts.
Nisha, Daniel, then George, please.
Hi Jacob, within touching distance of the last 16 now, what would it mean to you and the players to have taken the club, to that top table in Europe?
It would be amazing. I think this group over the last four seasons, we've been reaching new heights in different ways, and this is another milestone which we can achieve. And yeah, if we can do that, we'll be super buzzed about it, because yeah, we've done some really good things in previous seasons, and this will be another one to add to it.
You made history in Baku, Anthony Gordon breaking Shearer's record, biggest ever win in the Champions League for the club. To produce something of that, that spectacular, of that context, of that history at St James's Park, does it make you hungry to do that back in your living room, as you say?
Yeah, I think people who were watching at home, I think they would have been blown away with our start out in Baku, because I certainly was on the bench watching it. I was like, wow, go on guys. So no, it was a really strong performance, and when we're our aggressive front-footed self, that's what we're capable of, and everyone in the Premier League knows about that, and I think we've showed a good account of ourselves so far in the Champions League. And yeah, that was just a combination of everything going right for us, and delivering our performance at a really high level.
Daniel, George, then Damien, please.
Jacob, you're one of the most senior players at the club now in terms of how long you've been here. You're part of the leadership group as well. How much does it all that mean to you to be at the club that, of course, you grew up supporting?
Feels amazing. Even to have a leadership role. That's awesome as well, and I've had some really good mentors over the years, over the 9 years that I've been here. Matt Ritchie for one, he was amazing for me, and yeah, I sort of took a lot from him. And I remember he was one of the first people I reached out to, and I got elected into the leadership group, and yeah, he said he had sensed them sort of qualities in me from early on. So yeah, no, it's good achievement to get while I've been here, and it is also something that I think I've added well to the group.
Of course, you had loan spells as well in your earlier years at Newcastle. Did you ever envisage when you were perhaps away at West Brom, for example, that you get back to the club and be at a stage of your career where you're in that group, and of course the club is in the Champions League?
At West Brom, no. But then when I went to Sheffield Wednesday, yes, I could start seeing like a resurgence. So yeah, everyone has a similar journey that they want to go on. There's just different paths, and that was my path. And yeah, luckily when I was on that loan at Sheffield Wednesday, everything started to click for me. Came back, and then yeah, that's where I feel Jacob Murphy 2.0 was kind of formed, and personally a good couple of seasons under Steve Bruce, and then Gaffer came in, and yeah, the rest is history.
George, Damien, then Martin, please.
Hi Jacob, my question's about leadership as well, because it's felt like the senior players have really sort of stepped forward again in the last two weeks or so, this little mini reset. What does being a member of the leadership group actually entail? What are the logistics of that? I mean, do you meet once a month? Do you have a WhatsApp group? Do you have a special badge? Like, what do you do? What is your sort of version of leadership?
So we do have a WhatsApp group, and we'll talk on there, and we'll put messages in there before games about things that we want to kind of make people aware of in the build up of to games and stuff like that. But within the leadership group, everyone's got different qualities, and then yeah, for myself, it's, as you can tell from my voice, I'm not the loudest at shouting and stuff like that. So I like to be able to lead by example with my output, show people what it's like to be doing the right things, and I think the group is really good at following suit when they see good behaviours in front of them. We have Bernie, who leads by example with voice and with action. Trips leads by example when he's on the field. Bruno, I think that speaks for itself. Everyone can see with his performances, what sort of leader that he is and how inspiring he is. And also Nick Pope, really, really strong with his voice and his presence. So everyone has different unique things that they'll bring in the dressing room, behind closed doors, and then together, that knitted in, functions a dream.
Damien, Martin, then Joe, please.
Jacob, when you arrived here, the club was newly promoted and the focus was largely on survival at that point in the Premier League. Could you have envisaged then a situation where you would have one foot in the last 16 of the Champions League?
Bluntly, no. I think everyone knew at that time that it was all about survival, and it was about survival for quite a number of years. But then things change and goals change, everyone's belief change, and that's where we are today, where getting into the last 16 is something that everyone believes is truly achievable. So there has been change, and this is what everyone's wanted, and it's amazing to be part of.
Martin, Joe, then Craig, please.
Hi, Joe. Did you know Manchester City was your 250th appearance for Newcastle?
Yes.
I'm assuming that was a great, proud moment. Were there times that number was a bit of a fantasy? And I believe you have family from Ashington and Berkeley. How big a part have they played to help you to get to that number? Obviously, you try and play as many games as you can. So, I've never really had a number in my head of total appearances that I wanted to achieve here. But when I was made aware by the kit man before the game that if I were to come on, that'd be my 250th game. Yeah, that was it was pretty cool. So that was good. But my parents, my family, been ever present in the journey. They've helped me a lot. I've had a lot of teammates that have helped me get to this number as well. A lot of managers, past and present, have really helped in me being able to have such longevity at the club and to see such a huge number of appearances here. So there's too many to thank for that. With having those northeast roots, have you turned to your family in the good and the bad times here to help you?
Your family are there just whenever, they're always there. So it's a constant dialogue. They're with me through the highs and the lows, and that's just how it is with every family. They're always present.
Julian, Craig, please.
Hi Jacob, just on the leadership group again, you obviously lost a big voice in Jamal Lascelles a couple of months ago. How has it been in the group not having him around?
Yeah, Jam was he was a big figure. He looked after everyone really well, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but he was the aggressive one, and you need that in your team every now and then, and he had that, and with him it was all about total respect, and he could really lead the dressing room like that. So we lose that aggression, but then we have different ways of now navigating that leadership group and making sure that we're going into every game fit and firing. We've spoke a lot recently about one brain, everyone on the pitch thinking together and being a collective, doing everything, pressing together. If we're sitting off together, everything's done using one brain. And I think that's been really clear to see, especially in the last 4 games. So it's something we've identified, something we've really been making a conscious effort on, and yeah, we have to keep improving on that, and yeah, make sure that that's always evident in our play.
Hi Jacob, last year was undoubtedly the best of your career, and quite deservedly you went into this season with whispers of potential England call-ups. Now there's been a big change in dynamic at the front of the pitch this season. You've probably seen the analogy about Alex Isak missing his charger. By the same token, have you missed your iPhone a little bit, that change of dynamic at the top of the pitch?
We know that Alex was unbelievable when he was here, and me and him had a very good connection, and I've taken the same principles into this season, but yeah, it's also finding new solutions that is going to work for myself and for new teammates and also existing teammates. So yeah, without constantly having to train, it's a bit difficult because you're using almost the match minutes as training to find the solution, which can be a bit difficult. But yeah, we're all trying different ways and trying to find solutions that works for everyone.
An entirely different topic, but to go back into the dressing room post Brentford, I believe you guys had something between yourselves where you said, almost enough is enough, we've got to start doing this for ourselves, for the manager. Can you just take us inside that? I think Kieran alluded to it last week as well, what was said and how important that was and what has followed since.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little reset, see what everyone's saying, and if there's a common theme. And I said earlier about the one brain thinking, and if you think any of our top performances, everyone's in sync, everyone's thinking collectively, all on the same page, whether when we're pressing, when we're sitting off, everything's done without a thought, but that thought is all in sync and connected. So that's been something that we've really been pushing in the last 4 games, and I think that's been bearing fruit. So we still think that there's more for us to find, and we can achieve that with this one brain thinking.
Layla for Rob.
Despite the 6-1 win in Baku, where did Karabakh cause you most problems on the pitch?
I think we've seen from their goal, their left back / left wing back, he has a really good pace, so it's something that we have to keep an eye on in the game tomorrow. But yeah, they're a tricky customer. They get in behind very well with their 9. So again, that's something that we have to be aware. But when it's a game at home, a lot of the thought is on our principles and the things that we want to implement on the game. Because if we can deliver our best performance that we're told to deliver, we know that will be difficult for anybody to face.
Are you ready to finish, please?
Yeah, Jacob, the first Champions League game in Milan was so you enjoying the Champions League music so much. Do you still get that same feeling now? Because it's a special time, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, when the anthem goes, I think I'm like all the fans in the stadium at the end, when it goes, the champions. So yeah, I always belt that out at the end with the rest of the crowd. So yeah, it's there are moments that I never take for granted, and yeah, if you're not feeling like a kid still in their moments, and yes, I'm very serious about my work, but at the end of the day, I do the best job in the world, and I always feel, that excitement, that childlike feeling when it comes to playing in such big moments and big games.
Is it like a gift to your sort of 10, 11-year-old self sometimes when you pull the shirt on, because it's a magic moment?
Yeah, it is a magic moment, and yeah, player and fans alike, it's they're just special nights. You know, everything, even sitting here with these boards, it's just different. You always see it. So yeah, you know, never take any of this for granted.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.